going on, guys? Coming to you from the world famous Stub Cycles in beautiful Houston, Texas. And what do I have here, guys? This is the new Honda CB750 Hornet. I've been so looking forward to this motorcycle for a city bike, for a little runabout hot rod. I don't know that it does get much better than this. Look, I get it. Overseas, this bike has been receiving quite a bit of hype for quite some time. We finally get it here in the States, so what is this thing like to ride? Well, throwing a leg over it real quick, I can tell you this bike feels crazy light. Now, got a great looking TFT screen with multiple rider modes. Mode button sitting right over here, easy to get to. Oh, that parallel twin, that 750cc 270 crank sounds nice. Throttle response is really good too in sport mode. And that's all great, but what's it like to get down the road? Well, let's give it a shot. Oh, this bike feels so light. And it does have the optional quick shifter installed. This is gonna be fun. Guys, before I get too deep into this, I've got to send a huge shout out to Hunter, Tommy, and the rest of the gang over at Stub Cycles for allowing me to bring this motorcycle to you. And oh my goodness, this bike feels so little and so flickable and punchy. Okay, so I get it. This parallel twin in the United States puts out about 83 horsepower. And well, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but in a bike that weighs, well, right at 420 pounds with a ton of accessible power all over that rev range, this bike is lively. And with that 160 series section width rear tire, she's flickable. Oh, and punchy. This quick shifter is nice, guys. So it is an auto blip as well. Okay, so just getting down the highway here, I gotta tell you, the suspension itself, nice and compliant, not very stiff at all. This is a non-adjustable suspension. You can adjust preload, but as it sits set up from the factory, this is not bad. Perfect for its intended use in and around the city. But I mean, just so placeable. This motorcycle feels smaller, I think, than it really is. And that's not saying that to mean it means that it's diminutive. It's not. It's a real bike. But it just feels so more peppy and so more playful than I thought that it would. I mean, it just kind of brings the kid out of you a little bit. So as far as any of those bumps, undulations or whatever in the road back there, that expansion joint's usually pretty significant. This bike just soaked it up like it wasn't even there. Now, cruising down the highway speeds, and then we're up into 6th gear. Just a quick roll on the throttle. And there's still plenty of mid-range punch there to get you around traffic without pushing this bike too hard. I tell you what, the noise that this bike makes too, it's got, and I don't know if this is going to be able to come over on camera. I'm going to do a quick acceleration hit with it, but it's got a pronounced, it's got a pretty pronounced intake snarl too. This bike is, I have to admit, a bit more lively than I thought it was going to be. And oh my gosh, you just want to absolutely just bomb this thing into those tight corners. I tell you what, as a middleweight urban assault hot rod, I don't know that you can really do a lot better than this. Okay, so just shy of 6 feet tall, I can just about flat foot this bike with a 32-inch inseam. All right, let's get her on the highway. Oh, it sounds so good. Okay. Oh, this little bike is awesome. Little power wheelie there in first. Got onto the highway with absolutely no sweat whatsoever. So as I'm riding this bike, one of the things that is coming to my attention now is, you know, I had mentioned the bike feels small, like it just doesn't feel like a big motorcycle. Well, it kind of translates into all proportions. The rear sets are not aggressive, but they are maybe a little bit higher than some of this bike's contemporaries, if you will. And it just adds to a bit more of a sporty feel. The reach to the bars is very standard style motorcycle. But overall, from a comfort point of view, it's really good. I think the only limitation to this motorcycle could potentially be if you are, say, over 6'1", 6'2". Maybe if you've got an inseam that's, I don't know, 34, 36, it might start feeling a little bit small, a little bit cramped. But even at that, I don't think you would be too far removed from, you know, any sense of comfort that you might have been hoping to have, at least, because this thing is actually really nice just going down the street. A little bit of a roll on again. Yeah, this bike's got some good power on tap, plenty of power on reserve. Tell you what though, it's the overall lightness, the feel of this bike. With a wheelbase right around 55 inches, it's a very compact machine. It seems like it carries its weight nice and low as well. Let's spend a little bit more time with this. This is fun. So, if you're looking at this bike, chances are you're looking for something that you can just rock out in the city, maybe take out to the country, B&C roads is something you can have fun on. Not necessarily looking for the most powerful machine, but you want something that is going to be lively. Well, look no further than this, because for just shy of $8,000, you can have one of these. And I gotta say, for somebody that might be just getting into bikes, just getting into their first real sporty bike, this might be a great way to get in on this whole motorcycling thing, because it's a naked, so insurance presumably is going to be less. It's a middleweight, so it's not going to be overwhelming, but you do still get to have a bike that'll rev out and make some great horsepower and some sweet sounds. And the main thing that you get is this unbelievable flickability with this bike. I don't know that I've ridden a machine that was as lively as this in a long, long time. So yes, for just shy of $8,000, the performance that you get out of this bike, especially when you start comparing it to some of the other bikes in its class, I think this bike is better than the spec sheet lids on. And I think it's the handling that's going to do it for you. the power plant, it's very linear in how it produces power. There's never any real big instant torque hit. It just keeps pulling all the way through the rev range. Very linear in the way that it produces power. You know, so many of the other bikes, and this is one of the reasons why I think I'm kind of gelling so tight with this thing, so many of the other bikes in this class, they have a, and this is not a knock on them, it's just a observation. God, this thing just goats you into wanting to play. But they're too torque focused, and that can be a little bit of an annoyance if you're out looking to have fun and trying to rev that machine towards the top third of its RPM range. This motorcycle does not seem to have a problem pulling at any RPM, and it just keeps pulling linearly all the way through the rev range. Not to say that it's at all, not saying that it doesn't make good mid-range torque or doesn't have good throttle response or anything like that that you may associate with some of those other bikes. It's just that this bike, I think, allows you to play a little bit more. It does sound good, that intake snarl, I love it. So yeah, traction control will kick in sport mode. Oh, what a fun bike. We're hazing the back tire back there through some of that dust. I'm sorry, guys. Bikes like this, listen, bikes like this are so much fun to ride, no matter what your skill level is. So, you know, I was mentioning earlier that this bike would be a great bike for somebody just getting into their first real street bike, right? Like something with good power, something that'll absolutely keep up with traffic, have plenty of power on reserve. But if you've got quite a bit of experience, just the sheer liveliness of this bike is going to be so endearing to you. And again, it's going to bring out the kid in you. Back there, a little bit of a loose traction situation, if you will. And the bike just steps out. Traction control, not very intrusive, just a little bit of a nanny to bring you back in line. Think of it like a slap on the wrist, if you will. So definitely fun, but not underpowered and not under-spec'd either. Yeah, just a nice roll on the highway that does have good pickup. And I love that it never really does seem to fall off in the upper RPM range. And really, for a city bike, this is great. These expansion joints that you're seeing right now, for some bikes, some of the bigger bikes, it will upset them. You'll get a definite jolt, jolt, jolt. This thing just soaking it right up. Oh yeah, that quick shifter is nice on D-cell. Come to a complete stop, and we're stopped. There we go. Very well balanced, but again, very nimble feeling with that 160 section width rear tire. Just looking down at that TFT, there's no glare. Very, very clear. It's right at midday. Sun's straight above us and very clear, very easy to read that screen. As far as layout in the cockpit, you got your mode switch, click to bypass, pretty much everything you need right here. Got your main toggle switch, brings up some sub menus, trip meter, all that kind of good stuff. But I tell you what, for me, just the sheer simplicity and the sheer fun factor of this bike makes it nice. I gotta tell you, it's kind of like you're riding a dirt bike. It really is. Like, it feels like you're riding that. In terms of just being flickable, it feels like you're riding an old motocross bike, especially with the seating position. I can only imagine how good this bike is going to be at some hoonigan activities. Oh, how fun. Hey, let's get this thing back to the MSF course in the back of Stubbs Cycles and Stubbs Harley Davidson. And I want to show you just how flickable and how fun this bike is at low speed shenanigans. Speaking of low speed, I keep talking about this quick shifter. It works great at low RPM and at high RPM. Okay, so check this out. This bike is so ridiculously flickable. Buzz through here, and I mean, it just feels like you've got it is just so easy to just duck in and hit some of these tight. Just could do this all day, guys. Let's do this one again. Hit it a little bit faster. Maintenance throttle, set it up, duck, dive, go, 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 go. Oh, guys, this thing is so much fun. And so wheelie happy, too. Oh, I haven't had this much fun in a long time, guys. I love these middleweight nakeds. Oh, my goodness. Such a fun machine. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me with my first ride on a Hornet 750. If you have been thinking about this bike, get over here to Stubbs Cycles, grab the keys to this thing and take it for a spin. If you've ever thought it would be the right bike for you, think no more. This thing is a riot. But with that, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you on the next one.